Hi guys, welcome back to What's on My Plate. So for tonight, I'm making double stuffed baked potatoes. They're gonna be delicious, you're gonna love it, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm using russet potatoes for my double stuffed baked potatoes, and here I have 6 of them. We're going to oil these up, salt them, and we're gonna bake them in the oven, and that'll be the next step. Okay, so on a greased baking sheet, you add all your potatoes. You could take a fork and pierce them. So what I did is I just used a knife and I pierced all the potatoes. So now I'm going to oil these up. Just rub oil all over each one. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I washed them. I don't know if I said that. So just rub the oil all over. I'm using olive oil. Okay. And then after we oil them up, we're going to go ahead and bake them in a 425 degree oven for approximately 45 to 60 minutes. Just check them, and if you can pierce them with a fork, then they're ready to come out. So I'm just going to salt them up so you could just see here. I'm using sea salt, and then I'm going to flip them, do the other side. Okay, and if you notice while they're cooking, if they're burning in any way, just remove them because they should be done. So that's what we're going to do. So here's my potatoes going in the oven. And then we'll get to the next step of the filling for the double stuffed baked potatoes. Okay, so now we're going to work on the inside stuffing for the potato. So when the potatoes are done, we're going to remove all the potato filling, and then we're going to put that in a bowl. But what we're going to do now is we're going to stuff it with peppers, an onion, and garlic. So I'm going to chop these up, and then we're going to saute this and set it aside until the potatoes are done. So that is the next step. Okay, so here is 1 medium yellow pepper, red pepper, 2 cloves of garlic, minced. Everything's chopped, obviously, and then a medium to small onion chopped. So now I'm going to take all this and we're going to saute it in a skillet with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt and pepper. That's the next step. Okay, so in a skillet, I'm heating it up, and I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. So let that heat up, and then as this is heating up, then we're going to start adding our vegetables. So here is my yellow pepper, red pepper going right in, and my onion. If you don't want to use red or yellow peppers, you can use green ones. That's perfectly fine. So we're going to saute this now for about 4 or 5 minutes on medium-high heat. Sorry, I just need my little spatula here. So we're just going to saute this for 4 to 5 minutes on medium-high heat, like I just said. And after the 4 or 5 minutes, we're going to add our 2 cloves of garlic. But for now, I'm doing about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to add some pepper. Okay, and then we will saute this. And then when it's after 4 or 5 minutes, I'll go ahead and add the garlic. Okay, so now that the 4 minutes is up, I'm going to add my 2 cloves of minced garlic. Just going to mix it in here, and then we're just going to leave this on for 1 more minute, and then after the minute's up, just shut it off and set this aside, because when the potatoes come out, we're going to let them cool a little bit, and then we're going to start removing all the potato filling from the potatoes. So that'll be the next step. I'm also going to grate cheese because I'm going to put cheese in this, so we'll get to that step also. Okay, so I have a block of mild cheddar here, so it's about 8 ounces. So I'm going to grate the whole thing. Okay, and then you can use whatever cheese is your favorite. So I'm using a cheddar. And then I'm also going to do 2 ounces of gouda. So I have that here. So I'm going to grate that as well. And then I'm going to set this aside. Okay, so here is about 10 ounces of shredded cheese. So I used mild cheddar and I used gouda. So this is going to go inside the potato filling, but we're going to save some for the top. So we're going to sprinkle some cheese on top. So most of this is going in the potato. So I'm just going to set this aside. When my potatoes are done, I'm going to let them cool, and then I will show you what I do next. Okay, my potatoes are still in the oven. If you want, you can check them by squeezing it, but they're very hot. Just like use a spatula and see if they're done. If not, leave them in longer. I said 45 minutes to 60 minutes, and this has been 45. Okay, so here are my potatoes. They came out of the oven. I'm just going to let them cool for as long as I can. Don't forget, you have to pierce them before you put them in the oven. It lets some of the steam out. And a quicker way is just actually piercing the potatoes after you wash them and putting them in the microwave, because it could get done quicker. But my suggestion is, if you know you're making this, get the potatoes in the oven as soon as possible and then work on the filling part. So as soon as they cool off, we'll start the next step. Okay, to help them cool a little quicker, I'm going to just take a part of the top. This is how big it needs to be in order to get in there and stuff it. So I'm just going to take the top layer off here. It's basically just the skin of the potato. So I'm going to do that for all of them. Here, I'll just give you a close-up because I don't know if you can see the top. So now the steam is coming out and they'll just cool a little quicker. Okay, so now that the potatoes have cooled, I'm going to start getting all the filling out, and I'm going to place it on in a bowl. And so I'm going to do this for each potato. It's still a little warm, so just scrape out all of the insides and then just add it into your bowl. And then when everything is, when you do that, when you finish all the potatoes, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a little salt, a little pepper, some milk, butter, and then our filling of peppers and onion. So just gently remove all the potato. See? Okay, let me show you. See, it's... And then once everything's removed, we're going to season the potato, and then we're going to start stuffing it, and we're going to place it in the oven for like about 10 minutes. We just want all the cheese to melt. So I'm just going to do this for all of them. Just like this, just hold it and just remove all the potato out. And try to keep it intact. And that's it. Okay? And then we'll get to the next step after I'm done. Okay, so all the filling from my potatoes is in here. So I have my potato masher. And so I'm going to, it doesn't need to really be mashed that much. It's already mashed. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Probably just do a 1/4 teaspoon because the cheese is just so salty, and also the skin of the potato is salty. So then we're going to add 1 stick of butter, room temperature. So I'm going to add that in as well. Okay. And then we're just going to break this up in here. Okay. Let's get that in there. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of light cream. So add that in there as well. Then mix this up. Okay. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and add pretty much all our cheese. We're just going to save a little bit to put on top of each of the potatoes. Okay, so I think it's about 8 ounces in here. We'll save the other 2. And then we're going to add our peppers and onions. So this goes in here as well. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to blend all of this up. Blend it up. Okay. Look how good that looks. It smells wonderful. So taste the potato, the potato filling before you stuff the potato, just to ensure that you don't need more salt or anything. So just mix all of this up. And then we're going to refill the potatoes. This is such a great side dish. And it doesn't even have to be a side dish. The russet potatoes are huge. So this could just be your meal. And it's so easy to make it ahead of time as well. Okay, so let's get all this now and stuff it right into the potato. That's the next step. Okay, so now just take your stuffing little by little so you don't break the potato. I mean, I broke some of them, but it's fine. It happens. And then just start stuffing the inside. Just like that. Okay. Look at that. So just make sure they're fully stuffed. And then if you have any extra, then we could just put a mound of it on top. Okay, so leave that and we'll just do all of them. Okay, just little by little. Stuff the whole thing. Okay. So I'm going to do that for each of them. And then once they're all stuffed, we're just going to add the cheese on top and add them and put them right back in the oven. Okay? Okay, so all my potatoes are stuffed and I put so much on top as well. So if you have extra, which you're going to have extra, just mound it on top. And I still have a good amount left over in my bowl. Well, not a good amount. I took pretty much all of it and I just put it right on top. So now we're going to put cheese on this. That's the next step. Okay, so take the cheese. Like if you're just using one cheese, that's fine. If you're using 2 different ones, just mix them up. And then just add the cheese right on top. We're going to add this back in the oven, 425 degrees for about 10 minutes or less or more, depending on if the cheese is fully melted. Because all the cheese inside the potato, that needs to melt as well. Look how good this looks. This is just a meal on its own. I'm just so excited to eat this. I used to make this all the time, but I make it with I used to make it with smaller potatoes. And then I would make a whole bunch for a holiday or something. But yeah, look how good. Look how good that looks. All right, so in the oven they go. Remember, just 425 degrees, 10 minutes, or until the cheese on top is melted. And then they're done. They'll come right out of the oven. I will show you. Okay, so my potatoes are out of the oven. My double stuffed baked potatoes are out of the oven. Look how good the cheese melting on top. All the cheese on the inside is melted. Delicious. The only thing that you could add to this is some sour cream and some bacon if you want. Thank you so much for watching what's on my plate. I'm going to plate this and I'll take a picture.